It starts with the kind of nervous energy that makes a living room feel too small and a hospital feel too big. Gloria is overdue. Everyone is pretending they're calm, and nobody is actually calm. Archie Bunker tries to act like the rock of the family, the steady pillar who doesn't panic, doesn't overreact, doesn't soften, except he's doing all three at once, just in ways that look like complaining, pacing, and snapping at the nearest innocent object. Edith, meanwhile, is caught in that familiar Bunker balancing act, gentle, hopeful, and terrified in equal measure, trying to keep the mood light while sensing that the air has changed. This isn't an ordinary night. This is the night their daughter becomes a mother, and they become grandparents, and the family's entire emotional wiring is about to get rearranged. The first wave of chaos is almost comically bureaucratic. Edith arrives at the hospital with the kind of determination only a mother can have, armed with the certainty that Gloria is supposed to be there, right now, having a baby. But the hospital's front desk doesn't cooperate with certainty. Names get misheard, records don't show up. The staff has that clinical calm that feels like an insult to a worried parent, and Edith's anxiety begins to boil. Archie storms in behind her with his own brand of panic, loud, stubborn, and convinced the world is doing everything wrong. He can't stand the waiting, can't stand the confusion, can't stand that he's not in control of anything. His fear comes out as irritation, because with Archie, fear rarely gets to wear its real face. In the middle of all that, there's an absurd side channel. Dorothy and Bernice, two nurses with a complicated sister dynamic, are weaving their own soap opera-grade grievances through the night. Their conversation is half workplace chatter, half personal war, and it collides with Edith and Archie's urgent mission in the most surreal way possible. Edith is trying to locate her daughter. Archie is trying not to explode. And the nurses are juggling phone calls, grudges, and a level of petty domestic commentary that feels bizarrely normal for them. It's like the universe is insisting that even during life's biggest moments, people still argue about furniture, grocery shopping, and who ruined whose evening. Eventually, the fog clears. The right doctor's name surfaces. The right room number appears. Gloria is there, groggy, vulnerable, very pregnant, and still sharp enough to joke through discomfort. Mike is there too, trying to be the modern supportive husband, the coach, the partner who knows how to help her breathe, how to count contractions, how to keep her focused. He wants to be useful. He wants to be steady. But he's also Mike, meaning he can drift into earnest overorganization, and Gloria, under stress, under pain, under the crushing reality of what's happening, doesn't always have patience for the performance of competence. Their dynamic becomes a blend of tenderness and irritation, the kind that's honest because it's messy. The jokes aren't just jokes, they're coping mechanisms. Every laugh is a small refusal to be swallowed by fear. Archie, stuck outside the delivery room, becomes the world's worst waiting room philosopher. He doesn't like not being needed. He doesn't like not being the center of gravity. He doesn't like that Gloria, in the most important moment of her life, is relying on Mike in a way Archie can't control. Edith tries to soothe him, tries to reframe the moment as joyful, tries to remind him that this is what they've been waiting for. Archie keeps swinging between forced confidence and sudden dread, and Edith senses something almost funny in him. He's so overwhelmed that he can't even perform worry correctly. He eats when he thinks he should be too nervous to eat. He gets sentimental when he thinks he should be tough. He's terrified of how much he cares. Then the moment arrives. The delivery room becomes its own universe, counting, breathing, pushing, encouragement, and that strange mix of pain and comedy that only happens when people are pushed to the edge and decide to laugh anyway. Gloria keeps her spirit even as she's exhausted. Mike tries to keep up, tries to stay present, tries to be the kind of husband he believes a husband should be. And when the baby finally arrives, a healthy boy, the whole emotional pressure system releases at once. The tension doesn't vanish, but it transforms. The anxiety becomes relief. The fear becomes awe. Everyone suddenly has permission to feel what they were trying not to feel: love, shock, disbelief, and the quiet recognition that nothing will ever be the same again. Archie and Edith learn the news and respond exactly like Archie and Edith would. Edith lights up with warmth, tears, gratitude, like she's been waiting her whole life to hold this joy. Archie tries to keep his swagger, tries to land a joke, tries to act like he expected this all along, but the truth is written all over him. The man is moved. He may not know how to say it cleanly, but he feels it deeply. This baby is not an idea or a headline anymore. This is a real child, a real grandson, a new person whose existence instantly rearranges Archie Bunker's emotional priorities. And that's when the next phase begins, reality at home. Sleep deprivation turns the Stivic apartment into a foggy battlefield of diapers, feeding schedules, and small disagreements that feel huge at 2 a.m. Joey is adorable, but Joey is also relentless in the way all newborns are relentless. Gloria and Mike, still trying to find their rhythm as parents, now discover the truth that no one can fully explain until you live it. Caring for a newborn isn't just work, it's a total rewiring of time, energy, and identity. Gloria, who has carried the baby and delivered the baby, now carries the invisible weight of motherhood's nonstop demands. Mike wants to be supportive, but support can accidentally become control, and control can accidentally become disrespect. And that word, respect, starts echoing through their home like a warning bell. The tension hits a peak because of something that seems, on paper, smaller than it feels in life. Plans. Their best friends, Al and Trudy, are in town to get married on New Year's Eve. It should be fun. It should be a celebration. But fun and celebration are fragile when you have a 2-week-old baby and no sleep. A babysitter cancels at the last minute. Mike, under pressure, makes a decision fast. Rather than miss the wedding, he decides the wedding will happen right there in their apartment. He sees it as a solution, a bold move that rescues the night. He imagines gratitude, teamwork, applause. Gloria sees something else. She sees the same pattern she's been trying to name. Mike deciding things for her, assuming he knows what she wants, expecting her to absorb the consequences because he believes he's acting for the good of the team. And this is where the story gets quietly serious under the comedy. Gloria isn't just tired. She's fighting for her voice in a moment when her life has changed completely. She's a mother now, and she refuses to become a side character in her own home. She wants partnership that's real, not symbolic. She wants decisions made together, not handed down with a smile. Meanwhile, Al and Trudy arrive in full, chaotic, lovable form, calling Mike a nut boy, celebrating the absurdity of everything, turning the apartment into a wedding staging zone. Their families arrive. Guests arrive. The minister arrives. Even the babysitter circles back, suddenly available, and ends up pulled into the festivities. The living room becomes a crowd, the kitchen becomes a command center, and Gloria is trying to manage the baby, manage herself, manage appearances, manage exhaustion, and manage the emotional storm of feeling unheard. The humor is loud, but the emotional truth underneath it is sharp. This is what adulthood looks like when it lands all at once. Love, responsibility, and conflict packed into the same hour. In the middle of the ceremony, Mike reads a quotation about marriage, about being together but not too close, about standing as two individuals even while sharing one life. The words land differently because the audience can feel how desperately Mike and Gloria need to understand them. Marriage isn't just romance. It's power sharing. It's respect. It's learning when to lead and when to listen. It's discovering that good intentions can still hurt if they erase the other person's agency. After the wedding, chaos fades and the apartment returns to its normal level of noise, meaning still loud, just fewer guests. Another storyline kicks in because life doesn't stop delivering complications just because the baby arrived. Archie, in classic fashion, finds himself tangled in a business opportunity. A man named Bernstein shows up with an invention and a pitch, and Archie, fueled by ego and the dream of easy money, becomes convinced he's standing on the edge of financial greatness. The invention is a remote-controlled doorbell ringer, a device designed so you can ring someone's doorbell from your car, supposedly to avoid walking through rain or snow only to find nobody's home. Archie is dazzled by the promise of being first, being smart, being the guy who saw the future before anyone else. Edith, however, is not dazzled. She hears $1,000 and feels the floor tilt. She asks the practical question, if this is so brilliant, why isn't a bank funding it? Bernstein gives an answer that reveals his own financial limitations, and Archie, instead of seeing caution lights, sees insult. He insists he makes the money decisions. He pushes forward, trying to force Edith into agreement by sheer volume and stubborn confidence. The conversation gets tense and, at moments, uncomfortable in the way Archie's conversations often do. His worldview bumps hard into reality, and other people correct him, challenge him, refuse to let his assumptions stand unopposed. Edith, again, becomes the moral center by simply being honest. They don't have money to gamble, not with a new baby in the family and not with life already uncertain. Archie can't stand being slowed down. He wants the fantasy. He wants the win. He wants to feel powerful in a world that keeps reminding him he isn't. By the end, what ties everything together isn't the plot mechanics. It's the emotional through line. A baby arrives, and everyone has to confront who they are when love becomes responsibility. Mike and Gloria learn that parenthood magnifies every existing flaw and every existing strength. Archie and Edith learn that becoming grandparents doesn't soften life's chaos. It just gives a new center. And the household, always loud, always imperfect, still keeps moving forward. Through worry, through laughter, through arguments, through reconciliations, because that's what this family does. They collide, they complain, they stumble, and somehow they stay a family anyway.